Peace, something we are all seeking and yearning for. Peace, something we were once indigenous to. Peace, something we have lost along our way. Our way to obtaining knowledge of self. The knowledge of our ancestors who were removed from their natural state. The knowledge of our people who refuse to be oppressed. In our journey, we lost our grip on peace. In a society of pressure, stress, and traumas, we have become comfortable with holding on to the burdens of fear and anxiety, family secrets buried in our DNA. Change within is our only way back to peace. Peace in our communities, peace in our families, peace within ourselves. A major change in our thinking, in our actions, in our existence is needed. A non-negotiable change. Welcome to the revolution with Sister Talibah.
Hey, peace, everyone. Peace, peace, peace. How's everyone doing? If you can hear me well, please put a 1 in the chat for me. Can y'all hear me? Peace, Philette for Life, Wanda Smith, Taz, Montana, Alicia Russell. Peace, peace. How's everyone doing? So I didn't plan on having a tidbit today. But I wanted to come on real quick because I was literally just on yesterday evening doing a mental health check on everyone. And, in regards to the DV, the domestic violence situation from yesterday, peace, Carolyn Hendricks. And so I'm back. And unfortunately, my children just experienced a, a high, a high, a high level. I'm so stressed out, y'all. They just experienced violence. Okay, flat out. And I'm just like, this is a continuation. I wonder if this has anything to do with like the anxiety that I was feeling from the other day that I talked about yesterday. Peace, little mama. So my son, that's in martial arts, he had a demonstration at a community event today in downtown Flint at a park behind the county jail. And it was a beautiful, beautiful event. It was a excellent turnout. Like it was awesome. It was some featured local rappers there, and they sponsored over 300 fishing poles. They sponsored bikes, and they were giving them away. Bikes, skateboards, scooters, everything. Like it was a ton. And I don't even think they have enough for the amount of children that are still there. But peace, Queen Hanifa. So my baby performed. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to calm down. My baby performed the martial arts demonstration, and they did awesome. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful turnout. It was a high level presence of police officers there. There was a lot of vendors there, a lot of community members. Um, I saw Councilwoman Lewis there. I saw a few community activists there. Peace, Eddie Gray. Um, and it was, like I said, it was a really wonderful event. So three of my boys, my older boys, my 15-year-old, my 12-year-old, and my 5-year-old, they were at the basketball court. And there was a lot of kids over there. Now, this is towards the end when people are breaking down and cleaning up. And my martial arts, my karate kid, was with me. I was about to take up to practice where I'm at now. Um, and I'm standing with my husband. And Peach DeVar Ellis, P. Sassy Shay. Um, and we're trying to round up the children, our babies. And then my husband sees my 12-year-old and he's running and he's yelling his name because he's not running towards us, he's running away. And he's yelling his name. And I mean, he's running. And we were standing next to four officers, and one of them was Officer Villarreal, the one that our L calls Julio at City Council, because I had went over there and I had thanked him for, when I got kicked out of City Council, and my husband had thanked him as well. So I had spoke to him, asked how he was doing, etc., and then that was it. And then shortly thereafter is when my husband saw my 12-year-old running, and this lady was pushing a stroller. She came out of nowhere. She came from the area of the basketball courts, and the basketball courts are behind the building, so the court is shielded from where we're standing, so you can't see what's going on over there. And she told the officer, she was like, "They're fighting over there." So the officer started running towards the court, peace sign going, and my baby, my 12-year-old, is not hearing. He was in flight or fight mode, really. And we're running after him. And then I see my 15-year-old and my 5-year-old running. And then I still got my 10-year-old, my karate kid, next to me. And my husband he caught up with them, the other three, and he yelled at them. He was like, "Where are you going? Go where my business stuff is at." So we go. When I tell you it was a crowd of people running, and my 15-year-old was out of breath. He was really shaken up. And what happened was someone had got jumped at the court. And so he couldn't explain the story well because his adrenaline was just rushing. And we're standing there talking to him. And my 12-year-old he looked and he said, "That's him." And it was a young man, and he was walking. And I was like, I wonder, because he's walking past the police officers. And I was like, "What do you mean that's him? That's the one that got jumped?" And they were like, "Yeah." And he said he was gone. I think the term they used was wet up the place or whatever. So that means shoot up the place. So he had got jumped, and he was going to retaliate by shooting. And my boy started panicking again because the guy started digging in his pants, trying to pull out something. So my children just started running the opposite way. But I had to guide them to go in a safe direction. I just think I know they were so overwhelmed with stress that they didn't know what they were doing. And they have never been in a high level stressful situation like this. And they were shocked. And so I got them to safety, and from a far distance I could see that the officers were handcuffing the guy, and my husband was still over there, and he ended up saying that that they had arrested someone else. But I had walked the boys to to where I was parked, which was like a few blocks down because it was so many people. But the look of shock on my 15-year-old's face, and he was quiet on the way home. Like my karate kid, that's what I'm gonna call him. He was like, I don't want to go to practice anymore. And we was trying to normalize, like, you can go to practice, because I didn't want him thinking about it. But then um he changed his mind once because we had, in order to get home, well, not really in order, but the route that I took, which is a quick route, we go past the martial arts school. So he was like, all right, mama, just drop me off. So dropped him off, took my other boys home, and I came back, and I'm waiting for him to come out. But I'm not on here to highlight the violence or the situation, the unfortunate situation that occurred at a very beautiful event. But it's just like, I was just on here yesterday talking about the anxiety I had been feeling, and, talking about a situation that hadn't happened to me, but it affects me, it affects everyone in our community, right? And then for now, I almost want to start crying for right for my children to experience a high level event, and for them to be running like that. And at first we didn't understand why this boy was running for his life, my 12-year-old, because we seen him first. So now I'm thinking back, and I'm wondering, that horrible anxiety I was feeling the other day, was that like my intuition preparing me or telling me, you know, what's to come? Because this event was like the big event of our week, because our karate kid was involved in it. And I mean, it was beautiful. I videotaped the performance. I'm gonna put it on my Facebook page, because it was such a beautiful event. It's a beautiful park. And I mean, it was an awesome, awesome turnout. I seen a lot of people. I met new people. My husband met new people, but he's very social. You know, um, he just very social. So he was introducing me to a lot of people, and my children were having fun. And they had free food. Anyone that is a lot of Flint people in here, if y'all know about a slice of Flint, they were there. They have the best pizza. They were giving out free pizza. I mean, free bikes galore, y'all. Free bikes, scooters, brand new. And these were stuff that local rappers had came together and they donated. And at the very end, because my karate kid was helping his instructor pack up him and his other peers, and they were taking it to the van. And right when he got finished, he was came over with me and his dad, and then we were just trying to gather up the children right before we went to that court. And we just saw my 12-year-old running, and now I know he was running for his life. And he said he was trying to run to my husband's car. And my husband was like, no, you should have ran to where my business stuff is at, to my table. You should have ran over there. And he didn't know who prepares for a situation like that. My children they have never experienced that. So I'm just like, wow, just wow. No, Sassy Shame, my boys didn't know these people at all. It was literally a community event. And so they were playing basketball and they were having fun. My 15-year-old said, oh, what happened? I think the guy was trying to show off for some girls. and I don't know what was said, and he got jumped. And after he got jumped is when he was threatening to wet up the place. So, but I was thinking when I was driving and when I saw the boy, I'm gonna tell y'all something. The first thing that I thought of was YNs. Excuse me, subhanallah. And for some of y'all that don't know what YNs mean, it means young, NIGGAS, plural, YNs. And it is a very popular term in regards to our youth. And I was thinking, when I seen him, that is what's considered a YN. And then, I'm an overthinker. He probably identifies as a YN because I'm just thinking about the mentality that he has to even threaten to, you know, commit gun violence. And so here we are. I think we have normalized that term. And now I'm thinking about the power of the tongue. Are we, as a community, are we embracing the negativity in our youth? I said all of that to say that. Are we embracing the negativity in our youth, of our youth? And I keep going back to the power of the tongue. As a community, shouldn't we start affirming the good in our babies? Shouldn't we start planting the seed of beauty, of positivity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Shouldn't we do that? And now I'm an overthinker and you know what I do for a living, right? As a social worker, I always go to the root. And now I'm thinking, well, dang, how was his life growing up? Maybe he didn't have anyone in the household to affirm the good in him, to remind him of the good in him, and to guide him. And we all know how it is. It's a lot of our children are not fortunate enough to go and grow up in healthy homes. So I'm thinking about that. And as I'm thinking about this, I'm reminded of a conversation that remember when Clubhouse was popping, when A10 News Media Group had the Clubhouse thing going on Saturday evenings, and we would stay up late on the phone talking about some real issues. I miss that. Yeah, there was some issues, some arguments that broke out. But beyond that, y'all, we had some powerful conversations. And I remember one specific conversation. I specifically remember little mama being in there. It was late. Snow, a brother named Rico, I think T from the D, I think um, No Name was in there. And there was some other powerful voices that I don't see around anymore. But anyways, and we were having this discussion about our youth. And I remember this one suggestion that I made. And I actually learned this a few years ago from an elder. And when I would be out with my elder, it was an elder, an auntie, um, everybody that walked past us. And on this particular day, it was youth. It was young adolescents, young Black adolescents. Not that the color mattered, but just follow me. And every time, like we would be in the middle of a conversation and they would walk past us, she would stop and she would acknowledge them. And she would be like, "Oh, you are so beautiful. How are you all doing today?" And I think this auntie is like in her late 60s. She might even be in her 70s. And at that time, when I would walk past people, especially the youth, because I didn't feel a connection, I wouldn't even speak. I wouldn't say, "Hi, how are you doing?" You know what I mean? It was like they were invisible to me. Not in an arrogant way, but just I didn't normalize speaking, specifically to like who I would consider children. And so when she role modeled that for me, I started um, putting that I start putting that in motion for myself as a practice. So anyone that walks past me on my path, I'm walking somewhere, I don't care how old, I don't care how young they are. I always look at them and I say, "Hi, how you doing? Peace. You look beautiful today. It's good to see you." I make sure I'm smiling, like my eyes are smiling. All of that. I give good energy. And then, as I'm telling you all that, I'm also reminded that in Islam, there is a hadith where Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, says that a smile is charity. A smile is charity. So I'm reminded of that as well. So I just came on here to say that we need to start affirming to our babies, to our descendants, to even the children that are not of our bloodline, that they are greatness, that they can do whatever it is that they want to do, whatever accomplishments that they can mentally, they have willed up here and in their hearts. We need to somehow help plant that seed and nurture it. Even to the ones that maybe we think that they are too far gone, I'm telling you, just acknowledging them, just acknowledging them makes a difference. When I was walking to the park, when I had got to the park, I had dropped the boys off first, and then I had to circle back around and find a parking space because it was just on jam. And when I started walking to the park, my husband was already there. But when I had started walking to the park, I had walked past these gentlemen, and I think they were like a little bit younger than me. And I could tell they were shocked that I had spoke to them, maybe because I'm fully covered as a Muslim woman. Maybe I don't know. So I could tell they were shocked how they were looking at me. And one of the brothers was he had injured his leg and he had like a brace on his leg, and the sidewalk was very narrow. And I got out of his way because first he was trying to get out of my way, but because of his condition, I was like, "Nah, brother, come on." I said, "Do you need help to your car?" And he was looking surprised, like, "Dang." And he was grateful. He was like, "No, thank you, thank you." And I spoke to the brother that he was walking with, and they were looking at me like, "Wow." But if we could start greeting each other like that, and even doing that to our youth, doing that to our elders, I think that's a start. And we should get out of the habit of referring to our babies as YNs because they are so much more than that, although they may not possess that mentality, although they may not know it. They may think that being a YN is cool, it's what's up, is, whatever. It's the thing to be. It's tough to be violent, to live a violent lifestyle. Going to jail that's what's up, and it's really not. So even when we see those babies out, say something that's of peace, that is affirming the good in them, because Lord knows what they went through. And we have a lot of our babies that grew up in foster homes. And I'm not going to even begin to tell you. And some of you may know what happens in foster homes. And that's a whole nother lie. But we just never know what traumas that our babies go through. And so I just wanted to come on as a reminder that we need to do better. Even when we're talking about our children, what are we manifesting with our tongue? What are we manifesting with our tongue about our own community, about our own children? And so I just wanted to come on here and remind you all of that. I'm calming down. When I go back home, I pray my children have calmed down because my 15-year-old, he looked shell shocked and he was really, really scared for his life. And my 5-year-old, I kept asking him, I don't even think he knew what was going on, but I kept asking him, "Are you okay?" And he was just like, "Yeah," but he was very quiet, very quiet. And my 12-year-old, he was stressed. And when we were trying to figure out, and I apologize for jumping all over the place, but when we were trying to figure out, okay, what happened, and they pointed him out, and my 15-year-old was like, "Mama, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe here anymore." And just that quick, we got there at 4 o'clock. It ended at 6. So they've been at the court the majority of the time, y'all. And now, just that quick, you don't feel safe. And to see my children running for their lives, and as loud as I was yelling, as loud as my husband was yelling, they could not hear us. So I have to have a talk with them. My husband had like a quick talk with them. And let me tell y'all this real quick because my baby, my karate kid, about to come out from practice. But just Sunday, and some of my friends on here noticed because I was telling them this. But I had took my children to the masjid on, I think it was Sunday. It was Sunday. I had dropped the 15-year-old, the 12-year-old, and my 5-year-old off at the masjid for Arabic class. And my 10-year-old, my karate kid couldn't go because he had practice for this demonstration today. And the masjid is by that gas station that you may have heard um, A10 talk about called Club Sunoco. And so I dropped my babies off, and then my karate kid is in the van with me, and I just started driving in the neighborhood because I'm going to Club Sunoco because I'm on E. And um, out of nowhere, karate kid says, "Ma, you driving around here like it's sweet." And I said, "What?" He said, "You driving around here like it's sweet." And it's tripping me out because I'm like, I know this 10-year-old not talking to me like this, like it's sweet. What he know about this neighborhood? I get to, I forget what residential street I was on, but I get to Ballinger Road and I'm right off of Flushing. And I said, "Babe, I just gotta get some gas." He didn't even see the gas station, but he know which one. He said, "Mama, don't go to that gas station." And I was joking with him. I said, "Shoot." I said, "I got you," because he know martial arts. I said, "I got you and I got my gun on me. I'm good. I'm safe." And he was as stern, not rude, not disrespectful, but this baby was firm with me. Like he knew something. Okay. And he said, "Mama, don't go to that gas station." And uh, I don't know if I want to say authority, but the firmness in his voice. Y'all think I went to that gas station? Because I said, "Shoot, maybe that's a lot telling him, uh-uh." Your mama know better than that anyways. Because if my husband would have known I was gonna stop at that gas station, he would have told me the same thing. Nah, sis, you need to go somewhere else. So I was like, all right, you right. End up going to another gas station. So yeah, I just wanted to come on again and just to remind us that let's start affirming the best for our community, our children. And another thing that came to my mind is if you went to prayer and meditation, we in a time where we have to really pray over our family and ourselves for protection. Because at a drop of a hat, or however you say that saying, at a drop of a dime, it can all change. Because none of us was expecting that. That was a absolutely beautiful event, and I don't want to take away from it. But we gotta stop affirming negativity on our community, on each other. Now the question is, but truth is truth, right? But still tell the truth, but let's start affirm. I don't know. Let's just affirm. I'll think it out later. Let's just affirm the best in our children. Um, Let me go through these comments real quick, and then I'm gonna end it because I wasn't expecting to come on. And like I said, please don't take my words as I'm taking away from this event. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I'm grateful that the police were there to handle that situation. Now I just have to really go home and really check on my babies because my 15-year-old was bothered. They were all bothered by it, but I could really see it on his face. Peace, Maria Carter. My girl Maria was down there. Her baby was performing. Peace, Salty Chef. Sassy Shay, I'm praying for you and your family as you teach through the revolution. I also pray that your children find their way of release and process trauma so it will not linger on them. I mean, wa alaikum assalam, Uncle Carl. hmm Yes, Sassy Shay. I try to do that as I sit on my porch to acknowledge the youth that walk past. Maria Carter, right. No one is too far gone, sis. All can be reached and changed through kindness. I mean, Maria. And Maria, Brother Julio did give me your phone number. And I meant to talk to you about that, but it got hectic down there. Peace, David Bergeron. Bergeron. Peace, David. Peace to you. Peace, Nancy Adams. No name. I agree with the scripture. Does say, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. We expect the youth to be positive, and we call them the opposite. Absolutely. Oh, Maria Carter, you missed it. Alhamdulillah. Um, but you just watch the replay, and it was at the very end. Because Karate Kid and another young brother that was helping put up the stuff in the van. But just watch the replay. Um, Says, please process and release tonight as you and your family can have sweet rest. I mean, Sassy Shay. No name. Yes, Maria, I enjoyed it. It was absolutely beautiful. And the children did awesome. That was a man, when I tell you this has been the best investment for my son, the best investment. No name. You have to affirm the best even when they don't show the best. We have to speak life to our community. I'm praying for the boys. Thank you, no name. Deldrin, peace to you, Deldrin. Peace. Peace, peace, peace. Deldrin, watch the replay. It's real quick. I would like your perspective because I appreciate your insight, the insight that you bring in regards to our youth. Taz, we need Talibah's tidbits 7 days a week. Y'all, I ain't trying to stalk y'all every day. I just wanted to do a little quick tidbits every time I'm inspired. Subhanallah, excuse me. And so I was inspired to remind um, us that the power of the tongue is real. And even when we hear our babies call themselves Niggas, we need to call them kings, queens, whatever, something positive. And we need to treat them as such and really feel it. So, well, okay, I'm gonna get off. Um, I just want y'all to know I am coming live on Sunday to do the revolution. Because of this event today, I'm really pushed to kind of change my subject matter. And I hope I don't wear y'all down from it, but I really want to get this all off. My karate kid about to get in the van and he looks happy. So I'm glad he came to practice. Um, but there is a time change because Arabic class, I didn't know they had Arabic class at the masjid for the sisters. So your girl about to get her Arabic on because that's been a goal of mine for the longest and for my children. So it was like a lot, put it in my lap last week, Saturday. And I'm really grateful for that. So assalamu alaikum. Um, uh, hold on. We're gonna hit your dad up, okay? We're gonna hit up his pockets. Um, so instead of 12 o'clock, because of the Arabic class, for me and my children, is on Saturdays and Sundays. The Arabic class is at the masjid. I think I'm gonna go to evenings. I'm gonna try evenings. Okay, yeah, I know he see me. We'll catch up with him. Lord, my husband about to come stalk me, y'all. Let me tell y'all something real quick. Let me end this on a light note. This what happened when a Detroit woman marry a Flint man. These Flint men be stalking. Okay. We've been married for 16 years. I gave you 4 babies, and you still all up in my face. He just got off the freeway. He see me parked here, and he all up in my mix. Okay, ain't that right, T? The Detroit women, okay, we real sweet. Hold on. Assalamu alaikum. What up, man? Hey. Hold on. Hold on. Here, go out there, talk to your dad. He just got out of practice. Okay. Yeah, I saw your head sticking all out the window. Okay. All right, y'all. All right. I love y'all. I see y'all. Your other. Oh, let me shut up. All right. Peace, y'all. I love y'all. Okay. I love y'all. Look out for me. I'm gonna come on in the evenings. I'm gonna put a flyer out by tomorrow. So you'll see the new time, and we're gonna try it out. All right. McDonald's. Not McDonald's is not real food. That's lab food. I'll drive you, but okay, I'll drive you. Yeah. All right. I love y'all. You geek. Is it enough for his sibling? Okay. I don't know. You know what you getting? Go tell your dad what you getting. I'm just getting two stuff. Two stuff. Like, all right, y'all. I'm ending this live. I love y'all. Peace. I'm getting